Nasir Garb. I'm an associate professor at Georgia Tech. Our first panelist is Professor Barbara Malic. She has got her PhD in chemistry from the University of Ljubljana. So our other panelist is Professor Jacob Johns from North Carolina State University. He started with a bachelor's in mechanical engineering before proceeding with it. He's a professor of ceramic science and engineering and electrical engineering at Penn State University. Compile. Can you please come in? Come
Does
sit.
it mean that you assume it is something bad?
It's not bad, but it ends up having a detrimental effect on how much you're enjoying what you're doing. Usually high achievers is not that they don't enjoy what they do, they actually enjoy what they're doing, but this detracts from how much they can. So, I'm going to start from you, Barbara. You tell us what is your experience and how you feel about it.
So, hi everybody. I must say that I was, I couldn't decide if I have this syndrome, and I'm still not sure. One thing I'm certain of is whenever I need to write an application for, thank you, for whatever position, every 5 years, I have a problem because, is it working? Is it better? Yeah. Because I cannot remember if I have achieved anything at all in the past 5 years or in my whole career. That means in the whole 30 years. And this is really a problem to me. So let's say the recipe which I have now for the last probably 15 years is that I print out my papers and then I start counting, because fortunately in our country, in Slovenia, we have to, so we scientists are, let's say, transferred into tables of papers which are then evaluated by a certain ranking, and that means that I can easily find which number I am, and then I can rank myself, at least in Slovenia. So there is a good point of the system which in general we don't like, at least you see where you are. Until there is it's like a Hershey index and, well, Web of Science, number of stations and so on. It's very similar. But anyway, whenever I have to fill in one application for promotion, I have this same syndrome.
I feel like I'm an imposter on a women's panel. And maybe in part in preparation for that imposterness, I actually prepared a couple slides to justify my existence.
You want to go back?
Yeah. So one of my former colleagues identified himself as the improbable professor, and that resonated very well with me, and so I've adopted that as a title. Thank you. So I just have a couple slides, really. A lot to justify my existence, I guess. But, so I grew up halfway between Indianapolis and Cincinnati in a small little town. If you go on Google Maps, you can see it right about there. So it's an extremely small little town. And the point of this story is that I never met a professor before taking classes as a college freshman. So I guess this is one of the reasons why I have imposter syndrome. But here's a few other facts that define me as an improbable professor. My junior high school chemistry teacher told me that science is just not my thing. That kind of hurt. Put me in remedial high school science class. I was a first-generation college student. My parents had a high school education, and that's characteristic for imposter syndrome.
Nazanan asked for an example of when we feel like an imposter, and I would say I feel like one right now. I'm reasonably good at conveying information in a classroom. I can teach, but I don't do the interpersonal relationships things really well. And so for me, to give advice to someone else on how to do this seems very artificial.
How this everything related to religion. So should we ask God for helping with this?
I'll take
Susan, go for it.
Yes. The whole way through, let me add a preface. When I was going through tenure, I was hired at the same time as Long King Chen and Daryl Schlom.
It is about overcoming the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So you ask God to help with overcoming the challenge.
Yes.
And this imposter syndrome, is it a challenge you can overcome this way, or is it something different?
My answer would be yes, it is something that you can get past.
Grown up in Serbia? which is something like Professor Barbara, which means probably, I mean, I was not aware, but now when I'm in Europe, let's say, so I was surrounded by communism or socialism or whatever. My first conference, I'm a PhD student still, 1 month more. So I was listening to Professor McKinstry, and that was like tutorial in Portugal, what I'm supposed to fit nowadays. And that is where my syndrome comes from, for example, and I have all of those. It's so sad. If my mom hears me, that will be, I don't know.
Isn't it liberating though to know that it is okay?
I don't know.
I don't have a response. I just think it's interesting. The first two questions are on religion and politics.
Well, probably I can share my view. Because I'm European and because I come from the ex-socialist country. First of all, and I'm not sure whether it is the reason coming from the ex-socialist country or being a European. For sure we don't show off as much as the Americans do. I apologize if I was not polite enough. But I would say that personally I have accepted it. When I was young, I was really scared because of that, because even, let's say, even if I could read XRDs and deconvolute them, I would never present myself as a specialist in that, because I was always thinking what more I could learn. But I remember an experience from my PhD student times. We got a summer student from the States, and he wrote in his letter that
my presentation is not competitive at all in the other side, but I just cannot say it. I cannot say how awesome I am. I mean, but at the end that comes to that point, right, where we are in.
well, I'm sure you are.